Hey, 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 happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the grand poobah. That's right, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of the Gaming Gang. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. This is live stream 782. This is your first time joining me. Let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and then taking a first look at a game. Could be a board game, role-playing game, what have you. But we kick back and take a peek at something new. And tonight, I am going to be paging through Death in Space from Stockholm Cartel and Free League Publishing. And we will be taking a look at this in just a bit. It's from the same folks who put together Mirkberg, or for those of you who are not in the know, Morkborg. But I don't think it's going to have the same sort of art style to it. I'm sure it's going to be similar, but not exactly the same. So I'm hoping, because I got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Mirkberg's art. I know a lot of people love it, and actually, as a game system, it's all right. I mean, it's fine. It's a nice rules light OSR grimdark, really grimdark setting, but we shall see. So that's coming up in just a little bit. Do want to mention that, of course, we talk about the tabletop gaming news first, and then we dive into a game. So if you are watching live, kick back, put your feet up, relax. We'll get there. It'll be about 30 minutes or so. But if you are watching, say, 30 minutes or more after this stream ends, there will be timestamps. So if you want to jump ahead and get right into the first look, you can. There are timestamps both in the show notes as well as, depending on the device that you're using to watch this, it might even be right there on the timeline of the video itself. So keep that in mind as well. Of course, if you like this video, and I got to be honest, if you're watching live, if you check out the show all the time, watching live, you really should be giving this a thumbs up, folks. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my review of Pathfinder Punks in a Powder Keg, the first chapter of the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path from Paizo Inc. If you ever wondered if I'm in the hip pocket of Paizo, checking out this review should show I'm not. It's kind of funny because I have people ask me about, doing reviews where I have to kind of give something a thumbs down. And I don't like to do it. And if it's something that I'm going to really be like, oh my gosh, this is like a 2 out of 10, I will definitely let the publisher know. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not that concerned about companies sending me free stuff. I'm more concerned about people trusting when I tell them what I think of something. All right, anyway, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find on the YouTube channel. Come on, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there's chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you do have to be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. Yet another way I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, fire away, and I will do my best to respond. First out the gate tonight was the Motor City Madman himself. Yes, the Madman, our chat moderator, one of our 2 chat moderators, so behave yourselves. So the Madman is with us. We missed him last night. Hopefully he was doing some gaming or something fun. Hopefully, adulthood didn't rear its ugly head. Ooh. John Bogle's with us. Kathy Evans is here in chat. Testy Trekkie 245 Trioxin. And Lucas Gridlant. I'm sure I just butchered that pronunciation. Flaming Heron, our other chat moderator, is here as well. So is Russell Higgins. I think I have said hello to everyone who is in chat right now. I always try to do my best to say hello and hopefully not miss out. And of course, we know we've got some folks who are, hanging out, kind of, they don't jump into chat all the time. They know who they are. Howdy, howdy. All right, so Madman's talking about receiving his Savage Worlds Pathfinder Kickstarter this week. Sweet. Cool. Sweet. Flaming Heron says, we want your opinion, Jeff, not another shill reviewer. Oh, this is fantastic. This is possibly the greatest role-play game I have ever played in the last 15 minutes. I'm telling you, it is that good. You must pick it up. Or not. Jesus Nava has popped into chat as well. Sweet. So we got a nice chat rocking and rolling already. Very, very nice. All right. So let's jump on into the news because first off, this October is going to see the release of Planet Unknown from Adam's Apple Games. Here's what I know. Our planet has run out of resources and we are forced to move. We have discovered a series of planets and sent our rovers to test their environment with the hope of colonization. Our rovers have confirmed 1 to 6 viable colonization options, which I would take a guess that corresponds with the number of players. Ha! Planet Unknown is a competitive game for, you guessed it, 1 to 6 players, in which players attempt to develop the best planet. Each round, each player places one polyomino-shaped dual resource tile on the planet. Each resource represents the infrastructure needed to support life on that planet. Each tile placement is important to cover your planet efficiently and also to build up your planet's engine. After placing the tile, players do 2 actions associated with the 2 infrastructure types on the tile. Some tile placements trigger meteors that make all planets harder to develop and prevent them from scoring points in the meteor's row and column. Planet Unknown innovates on the popular polyomino trend by allowing simultaneous yet strategic turn-based play via the Lazy Susan space station in the center of the table. I believe it holds the polyomino tiles. I think that is what it does. Planet Unknown is for 1 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, plays at around 60 to 80 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $79.99 when it arrives in stores this October. This looks kind of cool. This looks pretty interesting. Here's something I did hear kind of through the grapevine as well. I am not familiar with Adam's Apple Games, but I believe if you are interested in picking this up, and I think there's like a Kickstarter edition and a retail edition. And once the Kickstarter is fulfilled, there are not going to be that many copies around. So if this is something that you're interested in checking out, I would definitely recommend going to the website and ordering it. So there you go. So Madman says, wow, look at those player boards. Yeah, they do look pretty sweet. They do look pretty sweet. Like I said, this is a game that I kind of stumbled across and it looks pretty interesting. I know some people are going to think, oh yeah, it's just ripping off terraforming Mars. Every planet is different. So everybody's not kind of terraforming and colonizing the same exact planet. And it does come across as kind of interesting. So we shall see. We shall see. Coco B has joined us in chat. Good to see you, CB. All right. So let's talk about another game that was just announced, and it is from Capstone Games. They've revealed a new historical game, Catherine, Cities of the Tsarina. Here's the announcement. Catherine takes the players to the Tsarist Empire of 1762. Lovingly illustrated, up to 4 players try to win the Tsarina's favor with the help of an innovative card mechanism. As is so often the case, different strategies lead to different goals. Do you devote yourself to the development of the fine arts or trade, or perhaps to secure and thus perpetrate the empire? With a new card mechanism, you will continually find yourself in the dilemma of choosing to use your card for its action or using it to activate the other cards. In the end, Catherine will decide whom she will place her trust. In this fast-paced game with an elegant rule set, players will cleverly use their cards either to invest in building residence, collecting goods, or investing in military. A new card mechanism leads to interesting decisions, and with only 12 actions available for the entire game, every decision matters. Cards count for many things. They not only show actions you can take, but also other symbols that help boost other actions. Catherine Cities of the Tsarina is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. I don't know if that's correct. Got to be honest, I got the age range from Board Game Geek, and BGG sometimes is off on their game info. It's supposed to play in around 60 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $54.95 when it arrives in stores on July 26th. Do want to point out, you can score a pretty nice discount right now if you pre-order from Capstone Games. You can get Catherine, the Cities of the Tsarina, for $39.95. That's $15 less. That's like a third off through June 10th. I do like the art style to this. I do find the art style to be pretty cool. Nice line art. I do find it interesting that there is no mention that this is 18th century Russia. I wonder why. Because that would be the Tsarist Empire. It's Russia. But once again, this looks kind of cool. And it's got a mechanic. Gosh, now I'm trying to remember the game from Osprey. It's and it's from Pierre Sylvester too. And off the top of my head, I can't think what the name is. But you have a hand of cards, and there are different actions on those cards, and you're only able to use one action per turn. And once you use it, it's gone. It's out of the game. And if I remember right, I think you start off with like a hand of 8 cards, and you're actually trying to, if I remember correctly, then you're trying to be crowned ruler of Scotland. If I remember correctly. I don't know if I do or not. All right, so let's talk about probably the biggest tabletop gaming news of the day. That's right. The Blade Runner Kickstarter has launched For Free League Publishing, here's the skinny on the new role-playing game. This is the Blade Runner role-playing game, a neon-noir wonderland that'll take your breath away, one way or another. An evocative world of conflicts and contrasts that dares to ask the hard questions and investigate the powers of empathy, the poisons of fear, and the burdens of being human during inhumane times. An iconic and unforgiving playground of endless possibilities that picks you up, slaps you in the face, and tells you to wake up. Time to live or time to die. Designed by Free League, publishers of award-winning role-playing games such as the Alien RPG, The One Ring, Mirkberg, Vaesen, Nordic Horror Role-Playing, and Tales from the Loop, the Blade Runner role-playing game propels players into the neon-noir streets of Los Angeles as Blade Runners. Set in the year 2037, the adventures begin shortly after the Wallace Corporation debuts the new Nexus 9 replicants on Earth, giving players a choice to play as either human or replicant Blade Runners with different specialties, personalities, and memories. Apart from the core casework, the RPG will, both in setting and mechanics, also showcase key themes of Blade Runner: action, corporate intrigue, existential character drama, and moral conflict that encourage role-playing and challenge player characters to question their orders, empathize with their enemies, and make hard calls with high stakes and long-lasting implications. Thomas Hanenstam, Free League co-founder and lead game designer of the Alien RPG, as well as the Twilight 2004E, forgot to mention that, fills the same role for the Blade Runner role-playing game. Original artwork comes from lead Alien RPG Martin Grip, with Joe LaFavi of Genuine Entertainment, who also brokered the deal with Elcon for Free League, serving as the lead setting writer, brand manager, and producer on the game series. There is a short Kickstarter video, and I'm talking, it's real short. It's like 45 seconds long. But at least you'll get a better look at some of the artwork in the game. So let's take a peek. Yes, the Kickstarter to bring the Blade Runner role-playing game to the masses, funded in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Not 4, 3. And you can actually reserve a copy of both the core rulebook and starter set for a $51 pledge. That seems awfully low. Or you can grab both in PDF for a $31 pledge through May 26th. Expected delivery on this is actually this November, which I am very, very surprised. I know this is fairly pretty much done from what I understand through back channels. It's pretty much good to go. It's ready to rock to the printer. Basically, what you're looking at through May 26th is Free League finding out just how many copies of these they need to make. So, a couple of things. Well, more than a couple of things. First off, sweet. This is something that I've known is been on the horizon for a while. I've talked to my contact over at Free League Publishing, Boel, who is always very cool. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. It's always super nice. And we should, when this comes out, be sharing it with you. So there is that. So the artwork, on one hand, I think the artwork's kind of cool. And then on the other hand, I'm kind of like, hopefully, see, it looks like it's got a little more detail to it than we've seen like in the Alien role playing game, which is Martin Grip's artwork there as well, which I think is fine. It's just I was hoping we wouldn't have that same exact sort of soft detail, but it looks like we might be in good shape as far as the detail at least of the artwork. Coco B says, mental note, head to Kickstarter after the live stream. Now I don't know what it's at yet. Or I should say, I don't know what this is at right now. I know at about 1:00 this afternoon, it was past the $500,000. So this, I have a feeling, will probably be one of the biggest role-playing game Kickstarters ever. It's my guess. Something else I was going to mention, I noticed you can't pledge for the core book or the starter set. Your pledge is for both. Huh, how about that? You can't just get the core book. You can't just get the starter set. You have to get both. And once again, according to exchange rates and the Kickstarter itself, you get both for approximately $51 right now. So very cool. Tessie Trekkie points out it is just under $800,000 right now. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. So the Madman says that they jumped on board this as well. I'm going to take a guess that we'll see quite a few people pick this up who may not even run it. So it's a possibility. It is a possibility. There might be some folks who just say, hey, you know what? That's not that expensive to pick up the, I assume the core book is going to be hardcover. It's my guess. And just for the artwork itself. So that is a possibility. It's kind of interesting because I have actually interviewed Philip K. Dick's daughter. May not know that. When we did our round tables for the third season, was it the third? Yeah, it was. It was the third season of The Man in the High Castle. And she was an executive producer on the series. And she was really nice. Very, very interesting. And she was coming around as part of the round table. So, yeah. So that's I thought throw that in there, you know, a little Philip K. Dick. Because the funny thing is, she talked about her father's writing in more depth than only Man in the High Castle. So she touched on Blade Runner as well, or Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which, you know, those of us who are science fiction experts all know is the actual title of the novella that Blade Runner is based on. Yes. Flaming Heron says, just looks that good, and for that cost for the starter set and core book as physical copies, it is a no-brainer how good this is. Yeah, this is, like I said, that price really surprised me when I saw it. The Madman pointed out that for Catherine, the Cities of the Zarina, he saw it is 14 and up as far as the age range. See, that sounds much more like it as well. All right, let's move on from the big news piece. There's a new bundle of holding that's just arrived. Features the latest edition of Shadowrun from Catalyst Game Labs. Here's the deets on the Sixth World Essentials deal. Oi, chumma! This new Shadowrun Sixth World Essentials bundle is your starting jackpot for PDF Shadowrun Sixth World and the current 6th edition of the tabletop cyberpunk fantasy role-playing game from Catalyst Game Labs. And that's enough of that voice. Celebrating Shadowrun's 30th anniversary, the 2019 Sixth World Edition is easier to learn and play than ever, yet still offers the depth that is key to the Shadowrun experience. Design exactly the character you want. Fast gameplay and conflict resolution keep the game moving. I don't know about that. The rules are built around gaining advantage and taking risks, building to spectacular moments. If you're new to Sixth World, start here to get digital files of everything you need. Rules, weapons, magic, equipment, vehicles, and more to start exploring the awakened world of 2080. For just $17.95, you get all 4 titles in this new offer starter collection, which have a retail value of $66 as DRM-free PDFs, including the complete Shadowrun Sixth World Core Rulebook City Edition, Seattle, along with a fiction and rules mini supplement, Adversary, plus a wide-ranging setting guides, No Future, that's the Sixth World version, and the Neo-Anarchist Streetpedia. If you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $41.01, you level up and also get this offer's entire bonus collection with 5 more titles worth an additional $79, including the Combat Rulebook Firing Squad, the Magic Supplement Street Weird, the Rigger Book Double Clutch, Crime Catalog, and a phone PDF with handy weapons reference cards called Gun Rack. You can score these savings through May 23rd. 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this offer's pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. Yeah, so there is some discussion of what I was going to mention. There's some comments in there. So Flaming Heron says, I don't know. 5th edition was bad. This is just terrible. I reviewed the starter set. It was awful. It was just a mess. Tessie Trekkie's pointing out, yeah, this doesn't get good reviews. Coco B says, they like Shadowrun. See, so do I. I had the original FASA Shadowrun stuff that came out. Once again, I say it all the time. I bought all this role-playing game stuff, never running anything except Call of Cthulhu religiously. But I would still pick up stuff all the time. And I had all of the first edition, well, not all, but a ton of the first edition Shadowrun and its splats. Just like I picked up Vampire the Masquerade and its splats. Never read them, but I always thought it was pretty cool. Deadlands and its splats. I just had money to burn. What can I tell you? So, money burns a hole in my pocket. Not anymore, thank goodness. So I wanted to share this, even though this 6th edition has gotten some pretty brutal reviews. And even like the supplements and stuff that come out. So one of the things I heard that I had to laugh is that this includes the like revised core rulebook, which is the city edition, and it's Seattle. I have no idea what the big deal with that is, although I know Shadowrun is essentially set in Seattle. And I heard that there are still the same typos and grammatical errors and placeholder text that people complained about in the original core book for this edition. It didn't even get cleaned up. I've heard people, because Topps owns Shadowrun. I don't know if everybody out there knows that. Topps owns this IP. And there have been calls from people for Topps to take this IP to another publisher. So I don't know. Anyway, hey, it's a new bundle of holding. I guess there's another one that's going to be coming out for this as well. Another like bundle for Shadowrun. I'm not sure what it is. Might be like adventures in that. Because there actually is a lot of stuff out there for Sixth World. Omanal has popped into chat with us. Very cool. Actually, Omnal's got a review that will be posted very shortly for one of the latest Traveler 2300 AD. Well, guess we should just call it 2300 AD. People get upset. Even though it is Traveler, it's not the same Traveler. Anyway, so we've got a review coming up. Also, should point out, I'm always looking for new reviewers. Talk about it a little bit after I finish up with my last news piece, because Conan, the Shadow of the Sorcerer, is now available in print and PDF from Modiphius Entertainment. And here's the latest on the role-playing campaign. Go beyond the veil of death. Mystery and terror about us, Conan, and we glide into the realm of horror and death, she said. Are you afraid? Ready your blades and prepare to face evil. Travel beyond the veil of life and into worlds beyond. The Shadow of the Sorcerer is an epic campaign for Conan adventures in an age undreamed of. Say that 5 times fast. Sending the player characters from the backstreets of Miscentia in Argos to a remote island in the Western Sea, then to the wastelands of Stygia, where they seek to protect and prevent a diabolical ritual from bringing forth an ancient evil. In this grand adventure, they must use every scrap of strength, talent, and cunning they possess. I've got a cunning plan, me lord. As they are pitted against a merciless array of sorcerous, monstrous, and mortal foes. If they fail, a great and powerful foe will become unstoppable, unleashing an era of horror upon the world unlike anything it has ever known. This adventure some of the features of the adventure, suitable for a group of 2 to 6 player characters, either at the beginning of their heroic careers or even battle-hardened veterans. There's guidance for playing with Conan and his allies as the player characters. Descriptions of the cities of Miscentia, Asgalun, and Zebhela and the Stygian Valley of Set. It's a journey through the Archonian afterworld in the halls of judgment, where souls are weighed to determine their ultimate fate. It includes a gigantic cast of non-player characters and new monsters, stunning art and maps produced by renowned Conan artists. Of course, this book does require the Robert E. Howard's Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of, say that 5 times fast, core book, in order to use. The 220-page hardcover is available right now, carries an MSRP of $49.99, or you can grab the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $21. Yes. Why is Cubicle 7 Entertainment popping up here? That's kind of weird. Missing out on one of our slides there. Trust me, we were talking about Modiphius Entertainment, not Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Although, I believe tomorrow night we've got another C7 news piece. I think. Just trying to think. All right. Anyway, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG, and of course, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you're going to visit, say, DriveThruRPG or DM's Guild or Storyteller's Vault, any of the One Bookshelf sites, please stop by thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banner ads, and that way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you feel thegaminggang.com is a valuable resource, if you like what we do, you can always buy me a cup of coffee or some soda by visiting paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. And a big shout out to Harold Vogel, who just recently made a donation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Harold. Always appreciate it. Madman says they actually picked up a little something from DriveThru recently. Yes, last week was the affiliates week, which I had never seen before from the one bookshelf sites where they were actually doubling the commission that affiliates get. So it was 10%. So on most items, sometimes there's some items that there's no commission on, but for the most part, it's usually 5%. So, and I gotta say, there are a lot of people out there who utilize the banner ads. Thank you over on thegaminggang.com because month in, month out, it usually covers the hosting cost for the website. And as I have pointed out before, we don't have GoDaddy $3 a month hosting. Our hosting is like $65 a month. So, yes, I know. And that actually isn't that bad for the traffic we get. All right. So that is it for the news tonight. Yes. So, do want to mention all through the month of June, it is another role playing game month. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to feature fantasy role playing games on every edition of the Gaming Gang Dispatch all throughout the month of June. So, we did the old school Renaissance month in January, and I thought that was fun, and I think people enjoyed that. And I've mentioned it before. You're going to see the Gaming Gang is segueing a little bit more into role-playing games and a little less in board games, unless I can get another board game reviewer on board, which Elliot keeps bouncing around. He might come back. I don't know. So if you have any particular publisher or game system you would like to see in the spotlight next month, please let me know in the comment section. Something else I should point out is that if there are publishers you'd like to see get covered by the Gaming Gang, role-playing games, tabletop, board games, what have you, miniatures, war games, whatever, you should let them know. Because it's what's the word I want to use? I guess I would say that the request carries far more weight from a consumer asking a publisher to take a look at an outlet than it is the outlet saying, hey, give me, which I don't like to do anyway. So, all righty. So there is that. And of course, I am always in the market for role playing game reviewers because I have PDFs falling out of the woodwork that could use some reviewing. Madman's like, not sure if I can think of any particular Savage World system. I don't have really any relationship with Pinnacle. They know of me. I think I've reviewed a couple of PDFs for them in the past, but once again, I don't do PDF reviews because they're boring. It's like in video, they're boring. So Flaming Heron said, I tried that once. Give me. Didn't go down well. No, it doesn't. The gimme dats. I'm not a gimme dat. So Omanel says the only issue with Blade Runner is it isn't using the year one engine. I thought it was. I thought in the notes they pointed out that it is going to utilize the year one engine. I don't know. Or at least, a form of it. I would take a guess it'll be far less complex than, like, say, Twilight 2000. I would take a stab that Blade Runner will probably be kind of middle of the road as far as Free League publishing goes. Probably around like Symborum. Although Symborum, I guess that's probably not a great example there. Probably more along the lines of, say, Forgotten Lands is kind of the impression I've got. I could be way off. I could be absolutely wrong. So Omanal says if it is, then he's mistaken, but the dice don't appear to be. I don't know. Yeah, because it would be 6-sided dice. That's what the year one engine utilizes is 6-siders. So I don't know. And 6s are successes. Don't know. We'll find out. We will find out. But I could have swore it's either in the Kickstarter or maybe it was in the info that was sent to me by Free League Publishing that it said it was utilizing the year one engine. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. So tonight I am taking a look at Death in Space. And that's the last time I'm going to say it like that. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
Music to the ears of the hungry. The sizzle of a mouth-watering hamburger. Fresh, lean beef, done to a golden brown, couched in a soft bun, and garnished to taste. Man, that's hunger heaven. And you'll feel like you're heaven sent when you get one at our refreshment stand.
Visit our concession and see for yourself the delicious treats, drinks, and snacks awaiting you. If you are thirsty, try ice-cold soft drinks or a cup of hot, flavorful coffee. Get something to go with it, like a sizzling and satisfying hot dog or a tasty, tender sandwich. Try one of these delicious treats, and you'll be back at the concession for more before the show is over. The service at our concession is friendly and efficient.
Great being at a drive-in watching Super Flick and eating all this great food.
This flick is making me hungry.
It makes me want to flick my bick.
We should have gone to the drive-in where we could eat and flick to our heart's content.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Well, come on then. I'm going to have a pizza and popcorn and ice cream.
And I'm gonna have a burger with fries and a soft drink.
Yum, yum, yum.
This was a great idea.
Yeah.
And now, on with the show.
Did those Bic lighters just burn the theater down? Pretty trippy, I must say. Like, and then it's like, yeah, watch this. I just want to flick my Bic. It's like, are you at a porn theater or something? You see all like the weird freaks that are around them? May have missed that. May have been looking at the lighters. It's like these oddball freaks that are all like, there's something with like big, like bubble eyes next to them. Yes. Help, Super Flick. Okay, so there's still some discussion going on with the Blade Runner Kickstarter. So it appears that it is using the Year Zero engine and it's taking it to another place. So very cool. So it is using a variety of different gaming dice, not just 6-siders. So James Eck has joined us in chat. Good to see you, James. They're pointing out that it looks like they're using like gradiating sizes of dice as opposed to a dice pool. So That's very possible. They kind of did that with Twilight 2000 also. So 245 Trioxin says, I missed the drive-in. Yeah, I'm with you on that. There are still a few drive-ins around the country. I got to be honest, though. I think, at least around me, if there was a drive-in, I would think that would not, it would be probably really sketchy, even though I live in a really nice area. Drive-in started to get real sketchy, and I gotta say, one of the last times I was at a drive-in, I was with my best friend Elliot Miller and my fiance at the time, and we had brought like lawn chairs. So we were kicking it, drinking some beers because she was driving, and these guys walked by and they were all carrying guns, and it was like, all right, let's pack things up and get going. Let's leave. Yep, they were walking past carrying guns. It was like, all right. Omanel says it's too cold up in Chicago. Yeah, but we still had drive-ins. We had drive-ins. They just would open about this time of year, although the weather is still crap in the Chicagoland area again. It's supposed to warm up like next Monday. It's like right now it's in the 40s, and then next Monday is going to be like 80. And of course, this weekend will be lousy. All right. Anyway, Coco B says they don't even smoke, but that was one of their favorites. Yes. All right. So tonight, I am going to take a first look and page through Death in Space from Stockholm Cartel and Free League Publishing. It's written by Carl Niblius. I know I mispronounced that. With artwork provided by Christian Plugfors, which I'm sure I have mispronounced that as well. This 128-page hardcover is available for an MSRP of $39.99. I will talk about that in just a bit. Or you can grab the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Omanel says Fort Worth has one of the nicest drive-ins, and it has kind of a carnival atmosphere. Nice. Sweet. All right, so let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Death in Space, a science fiction role-playing game. This is the holographic version. I don't know. I'm not getting a whole lot of holograph off that, but so we got Death in Space. And before we jump on in, do want to point out the fine folks over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But of course, as I always let you know, neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And of course, these days it's important to know that. Some people don't think that's important. I personally do. All right, what's going on? Damn you, Sony camera. All right, we better rock through this. I got to point out, unfortunately, when this Sony camera goes, that's probably going to be the end of the videos. So, of the live streams. So, hopefully, it'll behave itself. So, let's dive on in here. As I mentioned earlier on, these are the same folks who put together Mörkborg, or as some people say, Morkborg. And I don't think it's going to have the same sort of art style. It may be exactly the same. We're going to find out. But I think it's going to have kind of the same approach. It's going to have kind of an old school vibe to it. As we can see, we've already got some equipment tables and food, clothing, fuel costs. We were just discussing how we've got these kind of science fiction horror games that have gotten to be relatively popular. You've got Mothership. Of course, obviously, you've got Aliens. And, of course, we're taking a look right now here at Death in Space. So it is kind of a thing right now. It's kind of a theme that's popular. So I can see that we've got the white text on black background, which I got to be honest can be kind of tiring on the eyes, at least for me. So we've got a collapsing universe, the Gem War. So we're getting our background here. But as with Mjorkberg, we do see that the information is being provided in bite-sized chunks. We're not looking at just info dump paragraphs. I'm going to take a guess. We're going to have a lot of different random tables in here. You know what? Why don't we take a look at what the back has to say first? Death in Space takes you to the grimy blue-collar future of a dying universe filled with risk and opportunity, where technology is broken and dirty and society is harsh and desperate. This book includes an introductory scenario and plenty of tables and tools to get you started immediately. Create unique characters marked by cosmic mutations and void corruption. Oh, that's nice. Customize your crew's spacecraft or space station and salvage spare parts for repairs. Take risky jobs to survive in the lawless and war-torn tenebrous system. All right, cool. Andy Sykes has joined us in chat, pointing out they've got the Alien RPG. They've had it since release, and they can't get anyone to play it. That's kind of funny. One thing I would think, because pretty much everything that's been released for the Alien role-playing game is cinematic. It's all like cinematic scenarios, so they're all one-shots. So I'm kind of surprised can't convince somebody to jump on board for a couple of those. All right, so just jumping on in here. I'm not going to take a look at each and every page, but I do want to give you a good feel for what's in this book. So, character creation. We have our abilities, origin, character details, past allegiance, hit points and defense rating, and starting gear and starting bonus. 4 abilities: body, dexterity, savvy, and tech. And you're going to roll 2d4, one at a time. The ability value is the first roll minus the second roll. Okay. So that's interesting. Talking about different origins. Of course, you can randomly roll these origins up if you'd like. Character details, background traits, drive. To find purpose. I need to find purpose in life. Character details, we got looks. So here you go. You're just rolling up these D20s. Oh, here's D6. Past allegiance. Hit points. You start with 1d8 maximum hit points. When you rest, you recover 1d8 plus your body hit points. So I guess. So does that mean you could recover negative hit points? Your defense rating is a measure of how well you can avoid damage. Your unarmored defense rating is 12, modified by your dexterity. You can increase it by wearing armor. Okay. Then you're going to roll up your starting gear. Here we have getting started. Hub creation. The hub is your home, your sanctuary in a tough universe. The crew starts with a station or a spacecraft. Of course, looks like we're going to have a bunch of tables for you to create the various aspects of either the ship or the space station. So here we have our general rules. Ability checks. When a player character attempts to resist a hazardous effect or overcome a challenge where the outcome is uncertain and there is a real risk of failure, make an ability check by rolling 1d20 plus the relevant ability. If the result is equal to or greater than 12, the task is successful. Otherwise, the check fails. On failure, the character suffers a complication or setback and gains 1 void point. I would take a guess maybe those void points are probably bad. I don't know. We're going to find out. So here it's talking about things that, fall under the different abilities. So for body, it's like melee attacks, encumbrance, forcing open an airlock, dexterity, poise, speed and reflexes, balancing, picking pockets. Savvy is perception, piloting spacecraft, detecting holographic illusions, and knowledge about the universe. And tech is ranged attacks, understanding and operating technology, constructing gear, tinkering with machinery and electronics. So, pretty damn rules light, folks. Advantage and disadvantage. Okay, so giving a little wrinkle here. So you could have advantage or you could have disadvantage. Item slots. Player has 12 plus body item slots. There you go. There's our encumbrance. Got some reaction rolls. Void points. Okay, so you can use void points to gain advantage on an ability check or attack roll. Oh, okay. Void points are good. Or activate a cosmic mutation. Oh, well. So avoid corruption. Flies and other insects crawl out of your body when you sleep. A small cloud of them surrounds you. Their buzzing is a constant static. Part of your body becomes surrounded by a cloud of darkness. So these are some of the void corruption mutations. Cosmic mutations. Condition and spare parts. This looks like this would appeal to folks who dig Mothership. Because Mothership's kind of similar in style. It's pretty rules light. I don't think, I got to be honest, I picked up the first edition of it and did a little page through. And because they did a Kickstarter for a second edition, I'm kind of like, I haven't read it. So I'm sitting there like, so I went and bought Mothership. I mean, it wasn't expensive, but I picked it up from Exalted Funeral. I think it was a Black Friday sale, if I remember right. And it's kind of funny. It's like, now I just want the second edition because it's like longer, it's more in depth, it's got more content. So I haven't really read Mothership. Madman says complications can be fun for the game master. Yes. Had a couple of players in my Savage Worlds group Friday roll critical failures. Had a lot of fun with those. And the funny thing too is good game masters know that failure doesn't necessarily have to be a failure. It could be a success with some serious consequences. So, at least that's how I always look at it. Okay, so we've got some stuff off-world. Talking about EVA suits, lack of oxygen, and exposure to space. Got combat. I could see utilizing this even for kind of a, and I know there's a role-playing game for the Expanse, but I could almost see something along those lines. Using this for Alien. So here we've got, okay, let's take a look. I think this is combat. Well, spacecraft confrontations. Oh, that's combat between spacecraft. Okay. Here's our combat. Combat rounds, representing about 10 seconds of in-game time. So you got initiative and turn order, attack rolls, risky attacks, critical hits, natural 20. Condition loss, cover and shields, morale, enemies in combat. So stat-wise, an enemy has a defense rating, hit points, morale, and either an attack bonus or ability values for humanoid creatures with body and tech used for melee and ranged attack. If no value is presented for an ability, assume it to be 0. Non-player characters of less importance have 0 in all abilities. Death and healing. Let's see. When a character, okay, I'm taking a look here. If you end up at 0 or negative hit points, you're dying, and you roll a body check. If successful, you're stabilized but unconscious. If the check fails, you are dead. See, I would think if you were successful, you weren't dead yet, but somebody else has to stabilize you. It's kind of unusual. If you succeed on that, you're stabilized. Who did that? It's like we've got a table to roll on death. Okay. It's kind of wild. All right, so then we've got spacecraft combat, advancement, talking about experience points. Did you repair something? Did you deliver on a dangerous contract? Did you use at least one void point? Did you discover a new and potentially dangerous place? Did you gain a new enemy? Did you find someone new that you can trust? Did you contribute with something especially memorable? Those grant you an experience point. So you can increase an ability by 1 by spending 5, at most +1 that way. Then you can do it to +2 or higher. It's more expensive. Increase your hit points, spending 5. Gain a cosmic mutation, 15. Gaining an additional origin benefit. And you can only have 2 at most, and that'll cost you 15. All right, so then we get extras. So we get some info about the star system. Cults. There you go. Some space cults. Common areas. Okay, so it looks like this is kind of an example space station, maybe. What we have here. Tables and tools. So we got creatures. There we go. Now we're starting to look a little more like Mirkberg. Deep Space Nightmares and Navi Tales. Okay. Space Encounters. Iron Ring Locations. Addictive Substances. There you go. That's nice. Spacecraft. Tech modules, so different modules for your ship or station. Aha, some weapons, armor, and get some side views, contractors, NPC generator, and then we got a cheat sheet at the back that's kind of telling us everything to do in the game. So that's kind of cool. This looks interesting, I have to say. It looks pretty easy to wrap your head around. And of course, as I mentioned before, it's got an old school vibe. So tons and tons of tables to just roll stuff up on the fly as you go along. The one thing I would be curious about is the sort of support we're going to see for Death in Space. Mirkberg has gotten tons of support. In fact, I actually have the latest supplement that I am going to share a first look video of very shortly. I'm just kind of curious what we'll see for this. So, because Morkborg has had a lot of stuff come out for it and a lot of third-party stuff come out for it as well. Kind of curious what we'll see with this. And of course, I will have a review of Death in Space in the very near future. Sweet. So, I was going to talk about the price. So, it's $39.99. That's the MSRP. If you go over to the Free League website, it's $30.24. And it's supposed to be available in the US and I think Canada. So you could probably save yourself a few bucks if you order it directly from Free League Publishing. Like I said, they're showing that you can pick it up for $30.24. If you pick it up elsewhere, it's $39.99. Although, of course, I'm sure there's some discounts from some online retailers out there as well. I just didn't happen to take a peek. But if not, it might be your best deal to actually, which isn't normally the case, by actually going to the publisher and picking it up that way. All right. Once again, that is Death in Space from Stockholm Cartel and Free League Publishing. So what's cooking on tomorrow's show? Well, we are going to dive on into Monsters of the Wilderness, Oswald's Curse from K-Wood Publishing. This is a bestiary for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And I have taken a look at the other bestiaries that K-Wood Publishing has come out with, and they're fun. They're really cool. Really like them. They're kind of unusual. It's not just the same old that you see in a lot of fantasy bestiaries. Jeez, take a sip here. Omanal points out, Free League includes a PDF. Yeah, normally. What did I just see that didn't have a PDF? I just saw something, and the company usually has a PDF, but they weren't including the PDF. I forget. Maybe it's something that's I'm covering in tomorrow's news, because I was like, whoa, wait a second, what? Like, you guys always have the PDF included. You're not including the PDF? So, I think I know what it was. I think, if I remember right, it's the Blade Runner Kickstarter. That if you want the physical core book and the starter set, but you also want the PDFs, it's like $20 more, $30 more. I was like, what? I might be wrong. You got to remember, I look at so much tabletop gaming news each and every day, deciding what's going to make the show, what's going to go on the website, what stuff where I'm like, I'm not interested. So, alrighty. And of course, don't forget, next week, it is Ruins of Symborum week. On the Dispatch, we're going to take a look at the Player's Guide, the Game Master's Guide, and the Bestiary. This is all for 5e. This is Free League Publishing's Symborum that has ported over to 5th edition D&D. We'll also look at the Game Master screen, which I think includes an adventure as well. So keep that in mind. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Starfinder Allies Against the Eye, which is the 5th chapter in the Horizons of the Vast adventure path from Paizo Inc. So stay tuned. I'll have my review of this very shortly. All right, of course, once again, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be looking at Monsters of the Wilderness, Oswald's Curse from K-Wood Publishing. If you were watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate it. And of course, if you watched live and took part in chat, bonus experience points for you right there. You're getting close, so close to leveling up. So close, I swear. Of course, I know not everybody has an opportunity to watch this live. Doesn't matter how you watch any of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel, live or on Memorex. I just appreciate the fact that you take some time out of your busy life to hang around with this goofball. Thank you very much. Always appreciated. All right. Of course, as always, I certainly also hope that each and every one of you always gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.